Well. The UK is officially being deemed as the second miserable country in the world.
I'm an Englishman and I'm sick of England. I'm so sick of England, I left.
I hate the UK, so why am I still here? Firstly, I don't hate the UK. I hate the wankers that run it. I hate the corporations that are in bed with those politicians.
Okay, so here are some things that I don't like about the UK as a British person. Okay, so number one, the cost of fuel.
NHS waiting lists are at record highs, dentistry is now a luxury, free at the point of use is becoming not available at any point.
My third reason is everyone's mood and just the general vibe of the whole country.
Food is just ridiculously overpriced in London. Like, if you want to have a good day out, you're going to be spending at least £50-60, sometimes more.
It's mad. Like, there's rubbish everywhere. Like, even if you're walking through Tower Hamlets, there's lots of people are basically talking about nobody coming to collect.
It's really frequent that you get stared at or touched inappropriately or followed.
Because in the UK, you have to pay quite a big taxes. And even if you pay quite a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you are going to have a very good service.
Not to mention that in the UK, we pay some of the highest taxes in the world. And depending on how much you earn, you could be paying up to 45% tax.
This country is isn't it? Everybody's talking about it. Yeah?
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we say what most are too scared to admit. Britain today, it's a place where more and more of us feel like strangers in our own home. People are fed up with the lies, the greed, the broken promises. From the NHS to housing, from wages to bills, it's no wonder Brits are asking, what's left to love? And the saddest part, the people in charge don't care, as long as we keep paying up and shutting up. Today on Brit Rants, we're diving into the rage. TikTok is blowing up with ordinary people saying, I hate what this country's become. If you feel the same, hit that subscribe button. Let's make our voices too loud to ignore.
The UK government is failing its people. These 7 metrics prove it. A government's first duty is to control who comes in and out of the country. We've got record migration, small boats making daily landings, and a Home Office that can't even process its own paperwork. Are the streets safe? Are the police visible, competent, trusted? Knife crimes normalised, police response times are embarrassing, you're more likely to get arrested for a tweet than for a burglary. Citizens should be able to access timely, effective healthcare. NHS waiting lists are at record highs, dentistry is now a luxury, free at the point of use is becoming not available at any point. A civilised government looks after its most vulnerable. Social care is gutted, carers are burnt out, benefits system is punitive. Vulnerability is treated like a personal failing. Creating an environment where people can build a business, get a decent job or improve their standard of living. Productivity is flat, wages haven't kept up, small businesses are strangled by tax and red tape. There's no vision for the future. Roads, rail, broadband, schools, basic physical and civic infrastructure to support a functioning society. Trains are late, roads are full of potholes, schools are falling apart, broadband is patchy. The basics are being bodged. Setting a clear, coherent national agenda, domestic and global, and leading with some form of competence. Constant chaos, no long-term plan, endless churn in leadership. Most voters can't tell you what this government stands for.
These are 3 reasons as to why England is the best country in the world and what we do better than everyone else. Number 1 is, of course, the food that we have. It is not only really simple to make, easy to get the ingredients, and very simple, but we just simply have the best food. Beans on toast, a roast dinner, fish and chips. Babe, that is a culinary masterpiece. That's what everyone says. If you have ever come to England, you know how good the food is here. Number 2 is, of course, the healthcare. It's so wonderful that we get free healthcare. You know, it's amazing that we just get everything given to us for free. We definitely don't have to pay really high tax rates in order to cover the cost that the NHS covers us. And there isn't a massive wait list to get onto the NHS for anything. Number 3 is, of course, the weather. England does the weather the best. We get all seasons. It's definitely not freezing cold every single month. It's definitely not a pit of depression every time you step out the house. And it's definitely the most upbeat place on the planet.
Well. The UK is officially being deemed as the second miserable country in the world. But let's actually talk about this. What is it in the UK that makes people and everything miserable? Because I realize the people themselves are not that bad. Take someone out of the UK. Like when I meet people from the UK in Dubai, bro, They're the most vibiest people ever. They are good vibes, bro. I will choose someone from the UK over someone from America anywhere in the world, because people in the UK, deep down, they're calm people. But what is it in the UK that destroys it, bro? You see someone in the UK on holiday, you see that same person back in the UK, it's like he's been cloned. It's like you've never seen this person before. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ULEZ. I don't know if it's parking tickets. I don't know if it's Eddie Abu. I don't know what it is, bro. But in the UK, they need to do a study, because what is it that causes people to become miserable? Comment down below what you think, because I need to know, bro.
Right, let me tell you what I really hate is that as a woman, it's really frequent that you get stared at or touched inappropriately or followed. And I hate that the only way I've learned to combat this is to act as if you're not scared and to confront these people. I was just on the underground in London and I had a man that was staring at me and licking his lips and rubbing himself, and no one intervened, and other people saw, and I caught their eye contact. And so what did I do? Like, despite being quite frozen in fear, turned and looked at him and said, "Can I help you?" And like gave him eyes like that. And then he goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." Cause, you know, like they think we're vulnerable, therefore they do it, because the vulnerability is the thing that clearly gets them off. And I'm just really, really sick of it, because I don't want to have to do that. I feel shaken. I feel scared. I don't like it. I don't have that courage or that bravery. I'm not like fearless like that, but I have to be. And I've learned to be, or at least be perceived that way, because as I've just seen, you know, no one intervenes. So if you see something like this, intervene, please. Shouldn't be my responsibility, you know, in a train full of people to like act aggressive when I'm not, because I'm actually terrified. Anyway, that's all. I hope you're all having a good day.
There's lots of talk going around at the moment about the UK being one of the most miserable places in the world. Actually, having said that, it's not talk. We got the official ranking of second place on the globe. Everyone's tired. Nobody can afford anything. The education system's falling apart. Poor people aren't just poor anymore. They're desperate. Food isn't food. Tap water isn't water. The sun isn't sun. The rain isn't rain. Culture and patriotism doesn't exist. Some towns and cities are banning the England flag from being put up throughout England. But aside from all of that, one of the biggest reasons for the miserableness, and possibly the biggest cause of all of the above, is the lack of community. And there's pretty concrete evidence when you look at smaller towns, smaller places that don't get much media attention or much of a spotlight generally. They are overall much happier. It's a much more pleasant environment to be in. Families are tighter, friends are closer. They're not necessarily richer, but there's a higher level of mood. And it's all because of a sense of community. You get on the bus, the driver smiles, he actually asks you where you're going, and if you get it wrong, he doesn't want to smash your face. You go for a coffee, the cafe workers smile and chat to you. The old person at the bus stop chit-chats to you. Fellow drivers of the road let you in at junctions. They don't block you off, toot, swear at you, park halfway across the road, get out of the car and walk over to you with a baseball bat. True story, by the way. And I know, a fair argument is to say, well, in big cities like London, the driver doesn't have much reason to smile. The worker in the cafe is justified to be miserable. The drivers have reason to be agitated. Fine. But before we ship off the accountability to the larger forces and bodies who control the markets and impact things like inflation, energy prices and tax, and other things that are the main reasons for people's general mental self-destruction, we have to first and foremost look at one another and accept that we have actively neglected, well, nobody invests any of their time into their local community anymore. None at all. So we have to take some responsibility. Now, I travel around a lot, and lots of times not to big cities. I go to smaller places where the cafes aren't just Starbucks, Pret, Costa, Cafe Nero. Local cafes, small businesses, private cafes. You walk in, everyone knows each other. The worker knows the regulars' orders. Everyone's smiling, chit-chatting. The workers talk to the customers behind the till. Everything's a bit everywhere, but it's good vibes. You know, the conversation goes beyond the standard, hi, what can I get you? Usual, please, makes it, scan card, thank you, exit, no goodbye, rush off the station. If I don't get the train, I'll be late to work. I'll get fired. I won't be able to pay my bills. My wife will leave me. The kids will die. All right. Things in London are pure system, corporate and factory. Standard conversation, comfort zone, social anxiety, head down, no critical thinking, no situational observation. There's no looking at the cafe worker's top and asking him or her where he got it and then having a quick chat about clothes, or I don't know, or the cafe worker coming up to you and asking you about your day or what you're up to over the weekend or something something. There's no creativity, there's no versatility. It's pure factory procedure, rinse, repeat, go home, repeat, pay the bills, etc. Not to mention the customers themselves are less of arseholes in those better community places. And it is sad because I think a place like London is well beyond repair for now, and all major cities of the country are following the exact same footsteps and are only a few behind for now.
Now, when people ask me if I like London, I would say, yeah, sure, it's okay, it's not that bad. Because my family live here, because I was born here, I am a proud British citizen. However, a few things have happened that made me really thoroughly reconsider whether I actually want to live here or not. Something pretty major is the cost of living crisis right now. I remember 5 years ago, when I went to Wagamama's, a bowl of chicken ramen would be £9.99. And now it is £14.99 or £15.99. I just want to say that the same increase has not happened with wages. Food is just ridiculously overpriced in London. Like, if you want to have a good day out, you're going to be spending at least £50-60, sometimes more. A coffee at Starbucks is now £4.95 or something like that. It's just crazy. It used to be a meal like 5 years ago. You have all sorts of weird and wacky things happening in London. You've got those phone thieves going around stealing people's phones. You've got absolute nutters throwing chairs down escalators at Westfield. TfL have increased their prices to the point where they're now the most expensive public transportation system on the planet. The weather here is absolutely miserable. It's pretty much rainy, cold, windy all the time. Even in summer, you're lucky to get a sunny day. And then when it is actually summer, you get massive heat waves, which means you just can't sleep in your room, which is optimized for storing and conserving heat, thanks to the way that British houses are designed. Not to mention that in the UK, we pay some of the highest taxes in the world. And depending on how much you earn, you could be paying up to 45% tax. The rich or top 1% are fine because they just funnel their funds outside the UK. The really poor can't afford to pay it. So the middle class get absolutely destroyed. Anyway, those are just a few of the reasons why I think the UK is one of the worst places to live now. If there's any that I missed, please comment down below and add them.
This country's literally falling apart, man. It's like, even yesterday, I had a conversation with the police, and they were just basically saying to me like, there's not really much that they can do out here. There's so many things within their power that are kind of being undermined, and like nobody's basically taking any account. Like, this government is literally shafted everywhere. Even when you're walking through the streets, it's mad. Like, there's rubbish everywhere. So even if you're walking through Tower Hamlets, there's lots of people are basically talking about nobody coming to collect any of the rubbish, right? Rubbish men have gone on strike. Police are basically saying that everything is just flipping a mess. Some of them are walking out as well. And it's one of them ones. Like, I ended up flipping having to sympathize with them. Like, this country is isn't it? Everybody's talking about it. Yeah? Normal flipping working people. And at the end of the month, most people ain't got shit left. And some people ain't even got food. Got people flipping, what's the word I'm looking for? People having to go out and steal in flipping supermarkets. All types of flipping shit. It's my car key. Left my car key inside, yeah. People having to flipping go into supermarkets and steal. British Transport Police saying that their computer systems ain't even linked to Metropolitan Police. They want to leave. People talking about leaving this country. Do you know what I mean? So-called COVID's supposedly coming back. Loads of flights being cancelled at Gatwick and all types of shit. Like, England, UK, this government is shafted, man.
I hate the UK, so why am I still here? Firstly, I don't hate the UK. I hate the wankers that run it. I hate the corporations that are in bed with those politicians. I hate the royal family and the aristocrats, the rich cunts who have hoarded wealth for hundreds of years with no work to earn it in the first place. I hate the fact that in this country, 70,000 people are extremely wealthy, whilst 14 million live in poverty. That's 1 in 5 people, 20% of the population, compared to 0.1% that are extremely well off. And I hate the media that have brainwashed so many average people in this country to believe that that is fair, that that is right, and that it benefits them whilst their standard of living declines every single year. Despite what the boneheads and the media think, true patriotism is not getting angry about people that dare to question our societal failures. It's not about hating immigrants, and it's not about standing in front of a Winston Churchill statue. It is about caring for the well-being of your fellow people and wanting the betterment of your society. I want the average Brit to be more affluent, to not have to work as much. I want to eradicate the boundaries we have with our class system, and I want us to be happier. And we can achieve that. And that is why we need people to spread awareness and draw attention to the con that our country is living under, and how our leaders and the ruling elite are failing you, they're failing Mary down the road, and they're failing Bob down the road. Now, as for why I haven't left the UK, I've said this in a number of videos before, and it's very straightforward. I simply do not have the money to do so. I graduated 2 years ago despite having a law degree from a top 20 uni, having a shit ton of work experience across numerous sectors, having lived abroad and having a very strong CV, and now working for a very respectable company in a multifaceted role. I have an overdraft from university that I had to go into due to COVID, and I haven't been able to pay that off because I simply do not earn enough. So my plan is to launch a freelancing business so that I can start that as a side hustle and then eventually become self-employed so that I can dictate my own schedule and earn enough money. And also why I'm growing a social media brand across multiple platforms, because that can help me to generate traffic whilst also spreading an important message. But for now, I'm stuck here. And then maybe in a few years, I'll be chilling in a hammock in Thailand talking about how great life is outside of the UK. So drop a follow to see when I get there.
Why have 10,800 millionaires left the UK in the last 24 months? Because they know something that you need to know. You can be the most perfect seed with all the right ingredients for entrepreneurship, for success, for wealth creation, but if you plant that seed in the desert, you're never going to grow. Equally, you can be a broken seed planted in the rainforest and you can grow to the sky. The UK is broken, my friends. The reason why millionaires are emigrating at a rate of knots, one every 45 minutes, is because they've seen the writing on the wall and they're getting out. Even our brothers and sisters, our Polish brothers and sisters who are now emigrating back to Poland, who have seen that 44% rise in wages since 2017, where the UK has seen 0.1%. Everyone is leaving no matter who you are. There gets to a point where you go, I'm just not going to grow in a desert. But the real message I want to get across to you guys is that sometimes, yes, we need to take responsibility, but don't blame yourself. Sometimes it's your environment. And the only thing we can take responsibility for is changing our environment.
3 things I hate about London. Number 1, it's a health service. In the UK, luck with getting anything. Last time, when my boyfriend had a terrible poisoning, we spent over 7 hours in a hospital, just had a drip. Thanks God they did it at all. And if you need an appointment with a doctor, they actually are not doing anything. This makes me really sad because in the UK, you have to pay quite a big taxes. And even if you pay quite a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you are going to have a very good service. Number 2, cosmetic services. If you care about your health, better check with your friends who they could recommend you in order not to be very sad. I have so many people who mentioned they got some infection with nails. When you go to the salon, they don't disinfect anything. Afterwards, they'll spend hundreds or even thousands of pounds to get their nails, eyelashes, etc. to good order, and they have to pay so much. So I don't recommend that. Number 3, safety and security. How many times have you seen a video where people just grab random stuff from the shop and run? Unfortunately, your security guard cannot do anything because if they are going to touch the person, they're going to sue them for touching them. This I find ridiculous because I feel like, okay, they're going to steal something and they're going to have nothing for that. Because of that, so many criminals are around and it's not safe, especially in the middle of the evening. You need to be careful. Phone thefts, burglaries, even stabbings. It's crazy. This is a big city. This is something that you have to keep in mind. My name is Serena. I've been living in London almost for 2 years. I've got a British boyfriend and I love filming you some stories about London. If you want to know more, please follow my blog. See you soon.
Here are my opinions on why I think the UK is failing and why I'm planning on moving to Canada. So I made a video yesterday saying I want to move to America or Canada. Kind of caused a stir in the comments. People got angry at me and started bringing up politics and all this and that just because of my decision. Which leads me straight to reason 1. In the UK, people care way too much on what other people are doing and what they've bought and what money they've got and what they do for a living. Like, why does anybody care that Bill down the road got a new BMW M4? Who cares? Let him do what he wants. Another reason, the violence. It's normalised now for kids to grow up being violent, smashing bus stops and thinking they're all big and hard when they're really like 5 years old, while the parents are just sitting inside claiming benefits and eating frozen fish fingers. I'm not saying there's anything bad about frozen fish fingers, but you need to keep your kids under control a little bit more, you know what I mean? My third reason is everyone's mood and just the general vibe of the whole country. Pretty much everywhere you go, other than like Wales and Scotland, it's just England in general really. People are just so depressed and moody and they're just so aggressive for no reason. There's a guy on TikTok, Blinking. He goes up to people, like trying to give them free stuff, and they try to start a fight, like for no reason. Like, why? It's like everywhere you go, people just assume you want to fight. I think it's because of the weather and the mood and the cost of living. Cost of living stresses everyone out, and you can tell. Like I said, there's problems everywhere you go. No matter where you go in the world, there's always going to be problems, violence. There's always different problems everywhere. But my point is, the UK is probably the worst off, in my opinion. And I think Canada would just be a bit more suitable to raise a family.
I'm an Englishman and I'm sick of England. I'm so sick of England, I left. I took my wife and kids. I'm in Turkey, I'm in Bursa. I'm going to tell you some of the most interesting things about a Brit living in Bursa. One thing you'll notice is there's no nitties. There's no druggies on the street, alcoholics. Like, can I have 20p, mate? Walk down the streets are clean. Yes, even, I was from Oxford, even in Oxford, they just have litter everywhere, mate. No one cares. Here, they have some pride. And I'm going to show you the best thing about living in Bursa. You'll hear it in a minute. You don't need a masjid timetable. You just hear the call and you go. And there's a masjid every 5 minutes. And I don't care what you say. Oh, Turkish people are not religious. The masjid's always got people in. It's always full. One thing I'm going to miss is the hammam. The hammam is like a Roman bath. You go in, and it's normal. Everyone goes as well. It's not weird, like, to wash in public. But don't worry, guys. Everyone's covered. Like, everyone's wearing swim shorts, right? But you go in, steam room, sauna, big thing that gets you cold water on you. And then when you finish, you can just, like, chill out on this lounger and get served drinks and just chat to your mates. One thing that really upsets me about Turkey is, as a Brit, it's quite hard for me to live here. I'm on a tourist visa. And that means I can't stay.
Okay, so here are some things that I don't like about the UK as a British person. Okay, so number one, the cost of fuel. I actually didn't realise how expensive our fuel was until I spoke to people from other countries about their cost of fuel. So I have like an average sized car, and to fill up my tank completely, it cost me about £60, which is over $80. And per gallon, converting it to US dollars, it would cost $7 a gallon here in the UK for our fuel. You guys can decide whether that's expensive, but I think it is compared to what you guys pay. Okay, so next up, the fact that we put barely any effort in when celebrating Halloween. Literally the extent of it is kids trick-or-treating and carving some pumpkins. People don't typically decorate their houses or anything like that. It really sucks, and I'm jealous that you guys go all out because I think it's awesome. Okay, so number three, the fact that air conditioning is like non-existent in people's houses. Currently here in the UK, we are having a really big heat wave. It's been like 30 degrees Celsius, which is like 86, 87 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's the same when you come indoors because we have no aircon, so you practically just melt, which is really unpleasant. So yeah, that sucks. And last up, the fact that our drink sizes are so much smaller, like they are significantly smaller. I'm a person that would much rather have more than less, and I can just choose if I want to finish it. But yeah, ours are like half the size, 3/4 of the size, which is just a little thing, but it's just annoying. I really like the idea of having a huge cup, but maybe that's just me being greedy. But yeah, I wish we had it.
So, do I hate the UK? Controversial topic. Well, the answer to that is a resounding 100% no. I don't hate the UK. This answer might surprise a lot of people. I know after some of my previous videos talking about leaving the UK and moving over to Malaysia, a lot of people have asked me, you know, why do you hate the UK so much? I don't hate the UK. I just think, personally, it's a difficult place to live right now. And it has been for a number of years. I think the way it's being run right now is not the best it could be. And I think that having gone somewhere else, I've seen better standards of living in other countries. I've seen better infrastructure in other countries. And for me personally, this is a better place to live than the UK. If you're in the UK and you're happy there and you find life easy, well then nothing I'm saying is attacking you or how you feel about the country. You're free to live your life as I am to live mine. That's the beauty of this world, is that if we don't like something, we can make a change. If we like something the way it is, then we can embrace it. So, sorry, I don't hate the UK. I like it here more, and it's as simple as that.
3 reasons why I don't like living in the UK. 1, the level of antisocial behaviour, whether it's going to a playground in Borough Green and finding a broken vodka bottle at the bottom of the slide, the graffiti, getting on a train between Sittingbourne and Gillingham last night and having to go past about 20 empty seats before I found one that wasn't covered in food or liquid. The level of antisocial behaviour in the UK is so high. And here's the thing, most Brits you'll meet are lovely people, friendly and respectful to others. But it's just a small minority that ruins it for everyone. You know, if you're in a room of 100 people and one of those people is a psychopath, that's a problem for everyone. So yeah, it is a small minority of Brits who ruin things for the rest of us. But I feel in the UK, that small minority is larger than in most countries I've been to. 2, in the UK, I constantly feel like I'm being ripped off. There's always a charge to park everywhere. There's always a fee on top of everything. Do you want your tickets emailed to you? That's an extra £10. Oh, nice one. What are the other options? There are no other options. And then the worst one of all, budget airlines. Apparently nowadays, in the past, they would try to sit you together with members of your family. Then they said, well, if you want to guarantee you're together, you have to pay us. Obviously, not enough people bit on that. So now they basically say, we will actively go out of our way to seat people in your group apart unless you pay us extra money. Again, I constantly feel like I'm being robbed in the UK. I never used to get that in South Korea. For example, you'd go into a baseball stadium and they would literally have convenience stores in there selling things at convenience store prices. In the UK, the attitude would be, come on, they're in an enclosed space, let's whack up the prices, there's nothing they can do. It's that attitude of monetize, and it can get a bit annoying. Number 3 isn't exactly groundbreaking stuff, but the winter weather. You know what? The UK is fantastic in the summer, not getting properly dark until 11 p.m, no humidity when you get a warm day. Oh, it's lovely. But in the winter, it's so depressing. Now, it's not the fact that it rains a lot. I quite like the rain. It's not even that cold. In Seoul, it used to regularly get below -10. Again, you just wrap up warm. I don't even mind the wind too much. It's the fact that the skies are just constantly grey. Sometimes you go weeks without seeing any blue in the sky. It's really depressing. Whereas in Seoul, constant blue skies throughout winter, even though it was freezing. Before any of the Fragile Tommy Robinson fans comment things like, why don't you leave if you don't like it? This is just a video showing the cons. It's in response to a video where I talked about why I decided to move back to the UK and why I like living here. Every place has pros and cons. These are just some of the things I don't like about life in the UK.
The main difference between UK politics and US politics is that the UK public have been psyoped into hating the country and hating the flag. Which is dangerous, because as soon as a country loses its flag, it has nothing. All a country is its flag. Even those mental Democrats from that last US election, they still had their flags out on their lawns, they were proud of their country. The UK doesn't have that anymore, because it's been psyoped and slave-minded out of us. That love for the flag in the US is why you have charismatic politicians like Donald Trump, Vance, who can resonate with normal people who also love their country. It's why it's so exciting, it's why you have huge rallies, it's why it's such a spectacle, and it's awesome, because those people want the best for their country. Hit that follow button, by the way. I want to hit 1,000 followers. When I say the UK has been psyoped and hating their country and hating their flag, etc., this is what I mean. My younger cousin was at school saying he was being told how bad the British Empire was for the world, why Britain are the bad guys, essentially, without acknowledging any of the great things that happened from the British Empire. Same thing when he was getting taught about Churchill. He was only taught the negatives, despite the fact he's arguably the most important person in the history of the UK and one of the world's greatest leaders. They also did that by the media and the UK government, bombarding people by associating the UK flag with groups like the EDL. Because people have been psyoped and hating their flag, no one cares about the country. It's that and mass migration and illegal immigration has eroded British culture completely. When I just got back from Dubai, on every single street corner the UAE flag was there. Even the poorest workers, Even the people serving us coffee, they were buzzing, they were proud of their country. And that's what the flag means. When a country loses its flag, it has nothing. And that's what the issue with the UK is now. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments and click that follow button. Cheers.
It didn't have to be like this. We should be proud of where we live. But instead, we're angry, we're tired, and we're being pushed to the edge. And the worst part, those at the top are banking on us giving up. But here on Brit Rants, we're not staying silent. So if you're sick of the mess, the lies, and the betrayal, hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment. What's your breaking point? Let's rant together.